All right, here we are at the regular meeting of the Town Council, December 15th, 2020. Holiday wishes to everyone. Let's move ahead. Margot, take it away.
I, Margot GK, the town clerk of the town of Morristown, do hereby state that it is 7:32 p.m. on Tuesday, December 15th, 2020, and that this meeting is being held remotely via webinar. Both adequate and electronic notice of this meeting were provided according to law by written notice to the Morristown Daily Record, the official newspaper of the town of Morristown, and to the New York Star Ledger, both more than 48 hours ago. Notice was also posted in Town Hall and on the town website and filed with the office of the town clerk of the town of Morristown. I do further state that I shall enter into the minutes of this meeting a statement that such notice was furnished as particularly described by me in this public announcement. Take a roll call. Councilwoman Cotton.
Present.
Councilman Elms.
Present.
Councilwoman Foster.
Here.
Councilman Iannacone.
Here.
Councilman Iannacone?
Here. Oh, I'm sorry, am I on mute?
I'm sorry if I didn't hear you.
Okay.
Councilwoman Mayer?
Here.
Councilman Silva?
Present.
Council President Armington?
Here.
Mr. President, you have a quorum.
Fantastic. Well, welcome everyone. Next, we'll move on to a moment of silence. Followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
with liberty and justice for all.
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, before we get started, please be aware that public comment during the public hearing portions of this meeting will be moderated through the Zoom app at the appropriate times. Members of the public wishing to speak should indicate so by raising his or her hand in the app. You will find the raise your hand icon at the bottom left side of your screen. You may also raise your hand by pressing *9 on your phone. When it is your turn, the moderator will send a signal through the app and ask that you unmute yourself so that you may be heard. Please be advised that no comments were received via email for this meeting. There are 2 items on the consent agenda. Unless a member of council would like to consider them separately, I would ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Elms?
Yes.
Councilman Foster?
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilman Mayer?
Yes,
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Armington?
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, we are opening the floor for a public hearing. We have several on the agenda this evening. Again, please raise your hand in the Zoom app to indicate that you would like to be heard, or if you've joined via telephone, please press *9. Kindly state your name and address and limit your comments to 5 minutes or less. Be advised, any derogatory comments targeting members of council and/or administration may be ruled out of order. Our first hearing is for Family Promise of Morris County, fiscal year 2021 ESG application, homelessness prevention for housing stabilization program renewal. I believe we have Ms. Bjornson, who's joining us tonight to say a few words.
Ms. Bjornson, if you'll keep your hand raised, I will promote you to a panelist.
Hi everyone, I'm Joanne Bjornson. Thank you so much for hearing our applications tonight. I live on 10 Lafayette Avenue in Morristown, and our programs are located at the First Baptist Church on 51 Washington Street, also in Morristown. I've been with Family Promise now almost 16 years, and we have three program areas that we focus on. The first program area is shelter, and that allows families to stay together, housed, and safe. This program also supports single individuals. At the time of temporarily homelessness, families do need a place to stay together so that they can keep their kids safe and be connected to resources. During this time, we provide services, whether that's housing, food, financial literacy, empowerment, education, transportation, and access to resources. After families graduate our shelter program, we have a housing program, and that connects families to affordable, safe, and accessible housing. And so this is different for everyone. This may be a housing subsidy like a Section 8 voucher, another type of housing subsidy through the Housing Authority, or multiple other voucher programs in the community. We work with our landlords as a partner and really work with them to connect our families to the housing so that they are safe, again, is the main priority. But our landlords are also a key partner in this program. And especially right now, we know not only are people struggling with housing, but our landlords are struggling too because they're not receiving a lot of rent money. So really working with both parties to help make sure that they can get everything that they need. Our third main division is our outreach programs. Our outreach programs serve people that are unsheltered or at risk of housing in the community. We have a drop-in center at the First Baptist Church, and this program serves people in multiple ways, allows people to come in out of the cold, so it can be a warming center, can be a cooling center in the summer, allows people to have an address so they can receive SNAP benefits and other mail. They can come in and charge their phones. These simple things like using the restroom or accessing laundry and shower facilities, things that we may take for granted. Access to email and computer. And the biggest thing is access to case management services, which is huge because case management services connect people to everything that they need, whether that's medical or dental or showers or pet therapy or massage or haircuts, things again that we may take for granted that are easy for us even during the pandemic may be challenging, even more so challenging for people that are unsheltered or living in an unstable housing situation. Our ESG application tonight is for a housing stabilization program, and our community development block grant application is for outreach programs. The biggest thing in our outreach programs is connection to the community. And over the past couple months, actually since September, we've seen a 400% increase in need for these services. These services include not only the drop-in center, like I mentioned, but Navigating Hope, which you may be familiar with. Navigating Hope is an outreach van. It goes out 4 days a week. And the van also goes out in tandem with Hope One, Peer Mobile Recovery Outreach Van. In addition to that, we also work as a partner for Code Blue. And I'm sure you're familiar with Code Blue. That's for people that are unsheltered during the times of days, like just like today and tomorrow are going to be bad weather, anything below 40 degrees, getting people off the street, being safe, being housed, and then connecting them and using that opportunity to services. And there's multiple other programs. There's a single stop program, which allows people to look at all the benefits that are eligible to them and bundle them together. So when someone says, well, I'm only receiving $10 in food stamps, why bother? And I'm like, okay, food stamps is $10, but maybe there's a WIC program, maybe there's other SNAP benefits, maybe there's other benefits that you're eligible for, and that way you can bring all those benefits together in one, help people apply for them and connect to them, like getting ID and all the work that is required for the paperwork to get those benefits. And then they can take the money that they're saving for that and put it towards rent. So it really is a holistic program. Many people that we see also don't have access to medical care. And we know Sioux Falls is right around the corner. Some people may be afraid, some people may be not documented, some people may not feel comfortable or safe, and especially dental is a huge problem for the populations that we serve. So one of our big things is to connect people to all of these services and prevention. So people that are homeless or struggling really don't think about what might happen tomorrow. They worry about what's happening right now and today. And so we work with them on that concern and also prevention in every area that they may need attention. That's it. Any questions or comments or thoughts?
Thank you. I will now open up the public hearing
Thank you, Ms.
to,
Bjornson.
Sorry, I'll open up the public hearing to any members of the public who wish to comment on Family Promise of Morris County ESG application only. Jillian, anything?
No hands raised.
Thank you. I'll close the public hearing. Number 2, Family Promise of Morris County fiscal year 2021 CDBG application for community outreach programs. I will open up the floor for a public hearing for any members of the public who wish to speak on this application.
Ms. Bjornson, I gave you permission to speak. Do you have anything else to add on this program?
No, I pretty much spoke to both of them at the same time.
All right, thank you, Ms. Bjornson.
Thank you.
All right, let's.
I don't see any other hands raised.
Okay, I'll close the public hearing. Number 3, Visions and Pathways fiscal year 2021 CDBG application for Prosperity Independent Living Skills Program. We have Mr. David Walker joining us this evening.
Hi, Mr. Walker. I'm going to be promoting you to panelist.
Yes.
There
Hello.
we go. There we are. Hello, Mr. Walker.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm David Walker, the Executive Director of Visions and Pathways. I want to thank you all for the opportunity to speak about our CDBG grant application. I'll give a brief overview of Visions and Pathways and then go specifically into our application. Visions and Pathways, we've been in existence for over 50 years. Our mission is to help abused, neglected, homeless, and runaway youth to become self-sufficient. We offer programs throughout the state of New Jersey. I should have given my address. My address is 135 Greenbrook Road, Greenbrook, New Jersey. Our Visions and Pathways Morristown office is at 175 Washington Street in Morristown, New Jersey. We've had the office in Morristown for over 5 years. So Visions and Pathways over 50 years. Our focus is on helping abused and homeless youth to become self-sufficient. We have 2 programmatic models, group homes. All of our group homes currently are in Somerset County, where we accommodate approximately 50 youth ages 13 through 21 who have experienced abuse and homelessness. In their group homes, we teach life skills, anything that a young person needs to become self-sufficient. In our programs in Morristown, we offer smart street outreach services as a prevention and outreach program to hopefully prevent abuse and young folks from becoming homeless, in our Prosperity Independent Living Skills program. We are the largest, one of the first providers of such services within the state of New Jersey, and currently one of the largest providers, especially with respect to street outreach and prevention. Our CDBG application today is for our Prosperity Independent Living Skills program. It's an in-home service, hopefully to prevent young folks from becoming homeless, and if a young person is actually unsheltered, living within the street, to work with them to find stable housing. Our focus is on that, to help young folks to prevent homelessness and help them to acquire the skills to become self-sufficient and not dependent on public services. So if a young person is homeless, we help shelter them as quickly as possible. There has been an increase in youth homelessness due to COVID and the economic downturn. Most of our youth work within the service industry, and because of the economic downturn, there has been an increase in homelessness. So we help them to obtain entitlements. If they are able to live with an extended family member or friend, that's our first option. If not, we help them to obtain affordable housing. We provide life skills. Unfortunately, many of our young folks do not have career goals. So what we do is we take them from where they are, start them from where they are, and establish realistic goals and move them towards more ambitious goals. using an assessment tool called KC Life Skills. And as we progress with them, we work with our young folks for approximately a year, and then we move them on more adult services. So once again, Visions Pathways has been in existence for over 50 years, been in Morristown for 5 years. Our services are on the ground, early intervention, preventing homelessness when we can. If we can't prevent homelessness, keeping young folks off the streets for as quickly as possible, providing life skills, information and referral, and access to health benefits and other services. Any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Walker? No.
Good to see you, Mr.
Thank
Walker.
you, Mr. Walker.
Good to see you all.
Thank you, Mr. Walker.
Mayor Doherty, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thanks, David.
I'll now open the floor to members of the public who wish to comment on the Visions and Pathways CDBG application.
I don't see any hands raised at this time.
We will close the public hearing. Homeless Solutions, Inc., County of Morris, fiscal year 2021 CDBG application for child care scholarships. I'll open the floor for a public hearing. Members of the public want to comment on the Homeless Solutions CDBG application?
I don't see any hands raised.
I'll close the public hearing. Homeless Solutions, Inc., County of Morris, fiscal year 2021 ESG application for emergency shelter family program. Open the floor for comment from the public.
I don't see any hands raised.
I'll close the public hearing. Morristown Neighborhood House, fiscal year 2021 CDBG application for child care scholarship for low-income children. I believe Ms. Pamela DeMasi is joining us this evening.
Ms. DeMasi, if you'd raise your hand. There we are. Okay, I'm promoting you to panelist. Hi, Ms. DeMasi.
Unmute. Can you, I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, good. Thank you. Yes, I'm the Pam DeMasi. I'm the Director of Grants and Program Development for Cornerstone Family Programs in Morristown Neighborhood House. I think I've seen many of you over the years before. We are presenting our Community Development Block Grant this year for our after-school scholarship program. This is to begin, this will begin September of 2021. For many of you who know the Neighborhood House, which is located on 12 Flagler Street, we are, and I'm sure you're familiar with the community, we have large preschool program and after-school program. Pre-COVID, we were housing about 300 low-income children daily in these activities. Now we've been running the Morris School District, and you all know about the COVID impact with schools. So we are anticipating that for 2021, our census will be somewhere in the neighborhood of about 150, depending on the vaccine and those developments. What we do is we have we're on the Morris School District bus stop, and kids come to us as early as 7 o'clock in the morning. And then they're picked up and they're brought back to school, and they come back at 3 o'clock in the afternoon till about 6:30 in the evening. They get help with homework, arts, recreation, enrichment, and their families are also helped with a number of resources. One of the benefits of this program is that it allows families to work, go for training, pursue an educational degree, and participate in the local economy. So what we're asking for through this scholarship program is to help offset what the Children and Family Resources, CFR, pays a maximum of $73. Our usual rate is about $155 a week. So that loss of about $82 per child is what we seek through grant funding and other donations that we get to help sustain this program. So we're looking to apply for $50,000 to cover the cost. We've identified for 50 children. That's not the total maximum, but that's the maximum that this grant will help us to subsidize. So does anyone have any questions or issues they want to address?
Any questions for Ms. DeMasi? No, sounds like a great program.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Massey.
Thank you very much. Happy holidays, everyone.
I will open the public hearing on the Morristown Neighborhood House CDBG application for members of the public who wish to speak.
I don't see any hands raised at this time.
I will close the public hearing. At this time, I will open the floor for a public hearing on any other matter. Again, please indicate your wish to speak, kindly state your name and address, and limit your comments to 5 minutes or less.
The first speaker is Noemi Zabala. I hope I pronounced that properly. If you'll unmute yourself and then state your name and address to the record, please. Noemi?
Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So my name is Noemi Zabala. I live at 34 Abbott Avenue here in Morristown, and I am an applicant at the MHA Board of Commissioners. And first of all, I just wanted to say thank you to all the council members for all of your time and considerations on our previous communications. Just a quick overview to just remind you of why I'm interested in being a part of the Board of Commissioners is just over the last 4 years, I've been able to gain a lot of experience and knowledge on the inner workings of the local and federal public housing system. It was from spending time in Washington, D.C. to conducting personal research and taking public policy courses. I'm now able to confidently say that I understand the implications of things such as the Renters Assistance Demonstration, also known as RAD, the connection between housing, child poverty, hunger, and health, as well as the importance of accountability in public housing and tenants' rights, which is very important. But also more importantly, I know what it's like to sit on the other side of the table. You know, when I was 10 years old, I filled out my very first application for public housing because my single mother, who doesn't know the English language, wasn't able to do so on her own. Since then, we have continued to apply to get on the wait list for several other public housing properties, many of which we have yet to hear from, which is not a common thing. And now for almost 4 years, my mom and I have been living at one of Homeless Solutions properties on Abbott Ave. But in addition to all my personal experience, I have also grown in understanding the circumstances of others, which is very important to me. In fact, just over a week ago, I spent the night in the cold to help raise awareness and was successfully able to raise over $800 in donations for a local nonprofit organization that also works very hard to address Morris County's urgent need for low-income housing. So I am very ready and willing to serve all of our community in need of housing assistance in any way that I can. Thank you so much, council members, for your consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Zabala.
I don't see any other hands raised at this time.
Okay, we'll close the public hearing.
All right, so council responses to public hearing comments? Nope, okay. Moving on to report of the mayor and town officials.
Hey, Council President. Just a couple of quick things to go over. On Thursday, December 10th, the Hanukkah lighting was organized by the Rabbinical College of America by Rabbi Moshe Guveritz. It was kept under the executive order of the governor as far as many people attended. Councilwoman Sandy Mayer was there. Appreciate her support, but it was kept to a very, very small crowd, and we appreciate the Rabbinical College adhering to the executive order by the governor as they lit the Hanukkah tree Thursday. Sunday, the 13th of December, Santa visited wards 1 and 3 via the Morristown fire truck. It'll be this Sunday in wards 2 and 4, and you can follow that on the, see if I get this right, the FMBA 43 Facebook page or FMBA Local 43 Instagram page. You can get at time when Santa's coming through. I actually ran into somebody today that said it felt like it was the 1950s with Santa Claus coming down on a fire truck on their street. It was a very interesting feeling for some people. So thank you to the fire department for doing that, and the recreation department for organizing it. Upcoming events, the senior meal box delivery in lieu of the 2020 senior holiday. They did some distributions today at noon at 31 and 39 early. I'd like to thank the police chief, fire chief, deputy fire chief, public safety director, all of my staff in recreation that participated, Wayne, Shanae, Amanda, and I don't want to miss anybody, but it was a well thought out, planned, and executed event at 31 and 39 to make sure that everyone had their holiday meal in lieu of the senior party, which is a big event for a lot of those seniors in our town. ShopRite did an amazing job boxing up a really good senior lunch today, and I was happy that we were able to distribute 31 and 39, and 29 Ann Street will be Friday, along with other non-MHA seniors to get their holiday luncheon and their little gift bag. So thank you all who participated today. We really appreciate it. Let's see, Sunday, December 20th. I just mentioned that, 2nd and 4th Ward. Actually, the big thing I want to talk about is the at-home free COVID tests. I'm still waiting for my wife, so I have mine. We want to do it together. You can go to MorrisCountyCovid19.org, MorrisCountyCovid19.org, and order a saliva test if you're from Morris County, or a nasal test. They're free. You get 2 a month. I suggest you don't have to have any symptoms. I suggest everybody take it for the sake of taking it twice a month, to have that record and to constantly know where you are with twice, every 2 weeks you should take the test. Free of charge. You got health care. They don't really ask for a lot of information, just basically where you live, your name, etc. It's so easy. I had my test kit the day after I filled out the paperwork online. Couple of other little things.
Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry, could you repeat that one more time?
MorrisCountyCovid19.org.
Great, thank
you. So it's really simple, and you do the whole family, Mike. The whole family. So it's really worth it. It's a great addition to what the county does for us countywide, and we really appreciate them getting that together. It's very, very organized, very on time, easy to do. You go on Zoom with a practitioner, they walk you through it, the whole 9 yards. So it's easy. You don't have to wait in line. If you went by some of these immediate medical care, Councilman Iacom may have more information as you see people in line, a ton of people in line waiting to get tested. This is a nice, easy way. You don't have to go out of your house and stand in line for 4 hours and get tested. You don't have to have any symptoms. We're glad that our Councilwoman Tawana Cotton is back, smiling. There she is, and is over her COVID. We're really happy to have you back. So that's terrific. Special acknowledgements. Vera White, Housing and Zoning Inspector. She was hired in 2006. She is retiring on 12/31 after 14 years of service to the community. We will miss her. And Ray Wexler, Assistant Sewage Plant Superintendent, hired in 1987, is retiring on the 31st of this month, 2020, after 33 years of service. We wish them well in their retirement and continued success. And the last thing I'm going to talk about, to not take up too much time, is to make everybody aware. We all know that the storm's coming, so email your constituents, get their cars off the street. If they park on the street, put them in the garages. We have Dalton Garage, D-Hart Garage, Ann Bank Parking, Headquarters Plaza called today. We can use their garage, which is terrific for the second and third wards. But I also want to try to get the message out. If you have context on Western Avenue, Sandy, this is more towards you. Western Avenue is a very difficult street to navigate when it snows a lot. People don't move their cars. We posted today on Western Avenue. We went car to car. We blanketed. The county has given us the small garage behind the back of the courthouse next to new development on Court Street. That small garage, it's got like 3 levels. They can park on the lower and mid levels. That can be just for Western Avenue. So if you have any context on Western Avenue, let them know, let their neighbors know. Get their cars off the street because they need to plow that. It's going to be 2 feet of snow, 18 inches to 2 feet of snow. Those garages are open from 1 o'clock tomorrow till 9 o'clock Friday morning. So get the message out. It makes it a lot easier on our DPW when we're clearing roads. And the last thing I want to say is, we surpassed 300,000 in COVID deaths in this country. I post on it every day if you follow the Instagram or the Facebook. We have to continue to practice wearing our masks wherever we go, when we're outside, wash our hands often and social distance. We have Christmas coming up, a lot of family gatherings. I want to announce that if you didn't read it already, that Atlantic Health got vaccines. They started vaccinating healthcare workers and doctors. So it is moving. I don't have a lot of information. I know they did a press release today. They're excited that they're getting the vaccine. I know that the governor's first lady will be here in Morristown, I believe tomorrow or the next day. I don't think she'll be coming in Thursday. It might be too rough, but maybe tomorrow. This is a big deal for Atlantic, getting this vaccine going. We're all probably on the list that's far away, but it has begun. It is in New Jersey. Atlantic is part of it, and we're excited for them. And hopefully people can continue to practice what the CDC recommends and our governor recommends on practicing the principles to try to keep us safe and keep yourself safe. Keep others safe by wearing a mask when you're outside, and keep your gatherings limited to small gatherings, family only, and just try to get through this over the next few months. Vij, school is virtual till when?
January 4th.
Okay, so all those moms and dads, I know how difficult it must be having to juggle jobs, household stuff with school closed. So we all know how hard it is. So just hang in there. The vaccines are coming, and hopefully sometime in 2021 we'll be heading in a different direction. On that note, I want to wish everybody, those who were there, Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah, and those Merry Christmas and a healthy beginning to next year. And stay safe. Enjoy your time with your family, and have a wonderful holiday, next couple weeks holiday season, and we'll see you soon. That's it. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Mayor.
And to just clarify, so January 4th is a Monday. That's when the school will begin in-school classes. So it's virtual until the Friday before. But there's winter break, so school will go into session on the 4th.
Right. Do you know if the governor, Vij, is going to, if the numbers are still rising in New Jersey, or is he going to stay virtual?
It depends. Right now, we're still in orange. If it goes to red, then all schools will be virtual. But at this point, we don't know.
Okay. Thanks. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Vij. All right. Council liaison reports.
Stefan, Stefan, the Morristown Partnership did not have a meeting since our last meeting. However, just a couple of announcements. The North Pole at North Park Place with Santa this is the last weekend. It's Saturday and Sunday, 12 to 4. Morristown Partnership continues to thank everybody for supporting local business. Just a couple of reminders: visit their Facebook page, visit the Morristown Partnership webpage. There's a lot of opportunities to support those businesses. One, they've got the gift certificate program. Buy $50, get $10 free. There's the Adopt a Business and the Morristown Stimulus Program, all on the webpage. Check it out, support local businesses. And if you need that webpage, it's morristown-nj.org. Thank you, Stefan.
Thank you, Bob.
I'll speak on the Shade Tree Commission. The Shade Tree Commission is going to be supplying us with a Parks report in the near future. We're hoping to find residents in each neighborhood willing to help us divine and remove the invasive species. At last night's Friends of Foots Pond meeting, one member said that he's in high school, very nice, helpful young man, and he said that there are students that might be interested in helping us as a way to satisfy their community service requirements. So that's an exciting turn if we can get some young people involved in our town and in our parks. I want to just say thank you to all the Shade Tree Commissioners for the hard work and dedication to our town. They've been going out to the parks, taking notes, pictures, attending meetings. So thanks for all you do. And also the Friends of Foots Pond announced last night, they have done through in the year 2020, 464 volunteer hours, which works out to be almost $11,500 worth of volunteer time of value to the town. So I think that's spectacular. They're very dedicated. They're just doing wonders with that park, and hopefully it just spreads out across the town. And while I have everybody's attention, I just want to say thank you to all the town employees, the police, fire, DPW, staff in the town hall, and thanks for all the department heads that attend our meetings also. It's really helpful. I know a lot of towns do not have the support we have at our meetings, and when we have questions, they're there to answer them for us, and I appreciate everything you've done through the year. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. I did, on that note, I did note that, notice that trees were planted at along Speedway Avenue today or the last couple of days, as well as up at the corner of Sussex and Mills and Cutler, and they look fantastic. And you know, perhaps Sandy, you can, at the next meeting, you can let us know what residents can do to help sustain the trees planted over the winter that basically, I assume they go dormant, so they don't need watering until the spring. But if you can elaborate on that at the next meeting, that'd be great.
Okay, I'm not sure if they get gator bags in the winter or not. I don't think they do, but I will find out. Thank you.
No gators in the winter.
No gators in the winter. Okay, thanks.
Cold-blooded.
Okay, and as for the parking authority, nothing really to report tonight, other than that a reminder that the meters are bagged, they're free, 2-hour limits until the 27th, and as the mayor already mentioned, the resident parking in the garages, pending the upcoming snowstorm, which the garages are all listed on the town website.
Thank you, Toshiba.
No problem.
I don't have anything on MHA. Mayor already mentioned that the meals were given today to the seniors in replacement of their party.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to regular business.
Council President?
Yes, sir.
Before you go into regular business, I want you to recognize that there'll be an appointment for the judgeship as a municipal court judge, William Pinellas.
Yes.
As we know, Judge Noonan has retired. And Ms. Barrick, do you want to mention anything about the other judge?
Judge Troxel?
Yes.
He will be retiring at the end of this year as well. And we thank him for his dedication and service. He's primarily been serving with our housing court, which has been very busy over the last few years. And, like our other employees, our judges are very valuable to us, and we're very thankful for his service.
Thank you. When we get to that resolution, I know that there were some council members that had some questions about that resolution, primarily because we've had, the existing slate of judges has been longstanding, and we've never appointed a new judge, and so what is the council's role as opposed to, what that is. So I suspect we'll have some brief comments about that. Thank you, Mayor. All right. There are
All right.
no, go ahead.
We don't have any ordinances for introduction this evening. We do have 2 ordinances for public hearing and adoption. Ordinance number O-39-2020, an ordinance of the town of Morristown, County of Morris, State of New Jersey, accepting dedication of land within the town of Morristown.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number O-39-2020.
I'll second.
Okay. I will open the floor to the public for comments on ordinance O-39-2020.
I don't see any hands raised.
All right, hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any comments or questions from council? Okay, on the adoption of ordinance O-39-2020, Councilwoman Cotton,
Yes.
Councilman Elms,
Yes.
Councilman Foster,
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone,
Yes.
Councilman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Silva,
Yes.
Council President Armington.
Yes.
Ordinance 39-2020 is adopted. Ordinance number O-40-2020, ordinance of the town of Morristown vacating a 16-foot wide right-of-way along the northerly property line of block 6003, lot 14, pursuant to and in accordance with NJSA 40:67-1 at sec. I have a
I'll
motion
make
to
a motion to adopt ordinance number O-40-2020.
I'll second.
I will open the public hearing for members of the public who wish to comment on ordinance 40-2020.
I do not see any hands raised.
Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any comments or questions from council? On the adoption of ordinance 40-2020, Councilwoman Cotton,
Yes.
Councilman Elms,
Yes.
Councilman Foster,
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone,
Yes.
Councilman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Silva,
Yes.
Council President Armington.
Yes.
Ordinance 40-2020 is adopted. We have 14 resolutions for adoption on the agenda. Are there any that members of council would like to pull for separate consideration?
I'd like to pull 188, 191, 196, 197, and 199.
And Margot, could you add 193 to that list?
I'm sorry, give me one moment, please. Council President, can you please repeat the numbers you wish to
Sure.
pull?
We've got 191, 188, 191, 193, 196, 197, and 199.
Uh, 199?
Yes. There's no 199?
That's why I,
Yep. 190s.
197.
Oh, there's no 199.
197, Stefan.
197.
188, 191, 193, 196, 197.
Yep, that's it.
And Councilman Iannacone?
Stefan got it. It was 193.
Just make sure you're on your toes.
Thank you. Okay, I would ask for a motion to approve resolutions 184 through 187, 189, 190, 192, 194, and 195, 2020, and Moss.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Councilman Cotton,
Yes.
Councilman Elms,
Yes.
Councilman Foster,
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone,
Yes.
Councilman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Silva,
Yes.
Council President Armington.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution R-188-2020, resolution appointing William J. Pinellas as municipal court judge.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution R-188-2020.
I'll second.
Council President?
So we've never had to, or at least in my experience on the council, appointed a judge, municipal judge. I don't believe any of the council members have, seen his resume or looked into his research, his government, his history or anything like that. Can you elaborate on what the role is by the council in nominating him? Or elaborate from your experience on why he's a worthwhile judge to appoint.
Mayor, do you want me to?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. So, Council President, you actually appoint judges every 3 years. We have had 2 judges, and every 3 years this appointment comes up. This is a new judge that you're appointing. It's the same process. It's a mayor's appointment. The council serves advice and consent role. I have met with Mr. Pinellas a number of times. So has the mayor, the police chief, and the business administrator. He is extremely qualified. He's been practicing law for a very long time, much longer than I have. He's also a professor at Seton Hall. So he is very well versed. I've checked his references. He is well recommended by his peers as somebody who has a very calm demeanor, who is very fair. And one of the big assets that the mayor always looks into when it comes to appointments is whether the person resides in Morristown, whether he's local. And Mr. Pinellas is a resident of Morristown. I think that's very important because a judge needs to have the pulse of the town and what is happening in town. So looking at the overall picture, I recommended and to the mayor and the business administrator that he was well qualified, and the mayor and the business administrator met, and they can speak if they choose to.
Thank you, Vijay. I appreciate your candor. Any other questions about this resolution?
Definitely on this one, I'm going to abstain. I may have a conflict. So if I'm going to abstain on this one.
Council President, Council President, for the record, I think Councilwoman Mayer may get a kick out of this. I actually met him at the opening of the Foots Pond. So we had the big meeting down at Foots Pond when we were doing the hydro raking, getting ready for that kickoff. He's a resident that lives very close to Foots Pond. And that's how I first met him, which I thought was very interesting.
I was there and did not meet him.
No, you didn't meet him. Well, I wouldn't have known him just as a resident. Jillian and I both met him, the business administrator, the police chief met him. Very, very calm, very smart. There will be another opening for a judge with Troxler resigning, but courts are very slow, so that probably won't be immediate. I was very impressed by Mr. Pinellas, and I think he will serve the community well.
Where is this practice located?
On Morris Avenue, I believe.
Yes, that is correct.
If there's no more comments, call the questions, please, Margot.
On the adoption of Resolution 188-2020, Councilwoman Cotton.
Yes.
Councilman Elms.
Yes.
Councilman Foster.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Abstain.
Councilwoman Mayer.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Armington.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution R-191-2020. Resolution authorizing contract with approved state contract vendor for purchase of a police vehicle.
I'll make a motion to adopt our Resolution R-191-2020.
I'll second.
Council President?
So, I was wondering if the administration or if the police department had ever looked into the benefits of converting the police department or the town's vehicle fleet to hybrid vehicles. Hybrid vehicles, specifically with regard to police vehicles, which are, I think, idling at a lot of the time, are potentially benefited by hybrid vehicles. In the case of this resolution, they're asking for a Chevy Malibu. From what I can tell, a Toyota Tacoma, a Toyota Camry hybrid is basically the equivalent vehicle, though it gets almost double the gas mileage. It's about $3,000 more expensive, though it probably saves $3,000 a year in gas mileage. Similarly, on another resolution where they're asking for 2 Interceptors, the Ford hybrid Interceptor is shown, or at least according to Car and Driver magazine, has the same performance as the gas version. Again, it's about $3,000 more, but it saves a significant amount of gas. So really what I'd like the administration to do, if they would, is to work with the police department to evaluate the cost effectiveness, capital and operating costs, as well as performance of hybrid vehicles versus gas vehicles, and let us know at the next meeting where they stand on that, and if it's worthwhile doing it. From the research that I've done, it is worthwhile, especially for urban police systems where we're not looking at super high speed chases. But I will leave the performance side to the police department. That's their prerogative. So that's where I would like it to go. Though I value your input as you have it. So,
Councilman, I did field this question to our public safety director and police chief a couple of days ago when you raised it initially, and we will continue to evaluate. This is an option for future purposes. I know that the police interceptor, the hybrid version, has really only been around a couple of years. I don't think it's even available on state contract yet. Police vehicle procurement is somewhat precarious because we have to try to avail ourselves of stock as it is available. We actually approved the funding of these purchases in the July or June capital budget, and it's taken this long for the vehicles to even become available. So I really want to make sure we take advantage of the stock as it's available at this point. But I do know that Michael Corcoran has reached out to a couple of departments who've used hybrid vehicles and is trying to assess their experience with them. We're also talking to our DPW garage to understand the maintenance expense and our capability to maintain the hybrid vehicles in-house as well. So we'll certainly evaluate that for our next fleet purchase, and certainly we evaluate the alternative fuel vehicles pretty regularly because there's some grant of opportunities available periodically. So we will definitely look into that into the future. I would ask, though, that the council move forward with these purchases for tonight, because we do need to move forward with these purchases that have been approved for quite some time now.
All right, I will support these two resolutions tonight, and look forward to further discussions and investigation into the potential cost savings and environmental benefits of looking at hybrid fleets in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President.
Any other questions about this resolution? All right, Margot, please call the question.
Council President, would you like to amend your motion to include 191 and 197?
Yes, I would like to make a motion to adopt 191 and 197.
I'll second.
Thank you. Okay, on the adoption of resolutions 191 and 197-2020, Councilwoman Cotton,
Yes.
Councilman Elms,
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster?
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mayer?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Armington?
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution R-193-2020, resolution requesting approval for the insertion of a special item of revenue in the 2020 budget pursuant to NJS 48:4-87 CARES Coronavirus Aid Grant.
I'll move it.
I'll second.
Okay, Councilman Iannacone, Council President?
Jillian, quick question. Jillian, did we receive any CARES Act monies so far?
This is the only CARES Act money that we will receive at this point. You approved a resolution for the grant application and the November meeting, and we received the grant award. And so far, this is the money that we're getting, which is a reimbursement for expenses already spent this year.
Okay.
And I assure you, we've exceeded expenses beyond this money, but this is what's been made available to us.
What percentage of our expenses were actually covered by either CARES Act money or state monies?
Well, in the analysis that we were pulling together to assess what we could reasonably submit to CARES Act, I know that, we came up with at least $350,000 of expenses that would qualify for the CARES money. And then there's additional expenses that wouldn't qualify for CARES Act money, but we are going to submit for FEMA reimbursement at some point in the future when FEMA allows costs to be expended. So, the total amount is kind of changing, but I think we've probably exceeded $500,000 at this point between personnel costs, equipment, disinfecting supplies, masks, gloves, sick leave for quarantine and sick leave purposes, people that have needed to take off time to care for school children, all of those expenses have added up pretty quickly. The special peace officer that we now have in the lobby that monitors people coming in the building and makes sure that they have a mask on and takes their temperature and signs in for contact tracing purposes. There's a lot of little things that have been adding up over time.
Good job on the 298. It's a lot of work. Thank you.
Thank you. I wish we could get more, trust me.
Yeah.
No question from me, so call the question if the...
On the adoption of resolution R-193-2020, Councilman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Elms?
Yes.
Councilman Foster?
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilman Mayer?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Armington?
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution number R-196-2020, resolution requesting approval for the insertion of a special item of revenue in the 2020 budget pursuant to NJS 48:4-87 Clean Communities Grant.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution R-196-2020.
I'll second.
I'll second. Sorry.
Council President?
Yeah, I just, perhaps it's due to the COVID time period. I've noticed a lot more trash on at least in my ward, within the public right of way, whether that be on sidewalks in front of a private property or on a Corey Road or Speedway Avenue. And I'm not entirely sure what the Clean Communities group does. The website says, that they do the shred events, they do the annual cleanup. I understand that there's some school education, but I wonder if it would be better served as essentially hiring low-wage people at $10 to $15 an hour for 2,000 hours a year to just clean up trash, in the public right of way. The dilemma that we have is that by law, private property owners, businesses, residents are supposed to clean up trash in front of their properties. We have property maintenance rules, though in heavily traveled areas, there may be a reluctance to do that. And I think the judicial system of allowing them to, issuing summonses and then waiting 30 days and then 60 days and then 90 days doesn't provide the results that we need. So I just wonder if the administration would consider using part of the money from the Clean Communities Grant to hire low-paid hourly wages people to essentially clean up trash. I think it would be a significant benefit to the appearance of the town, at least in the 3rd ward and the 2nd ward, at least in my area, and I think also on Morris Street outside of the Central Business District.
Councilman, we'll certainly look into it. As the Clean Communities Coordinator is transitioning and during COVID times where most of the programming has been suspended anyway until next year. So we'll definitely take the time to evaluate how the program dollars are spent. I know currently, a big chunk of the grant dollars are spent to cover the salary of the coordinator position. And then the balance of it is used for cleanup days and shred events and things like that. There's not a ton of money left over, but we can certainly evaluate how we spend those dollars and see if there's another way that we can leverage it for some direct cleanup expenses.
Thank you.
And also we can push this off to DPW to start doing more street cleaning and get a list of those streets. If you can email Jillian a list of areas, Stefan, that you've noticed, or any other council members you notice where you see any more trash than normal. I know that I walk my dogs a lot, so I see some and pick up some. I have a few people in my neighborhood that actually go around and pick up trash. So there has been a little uptick, but we have a DPW and we can have our superintendent put people to certain tasks because we are short. And I can tell Jillian's being kind with the Clean Communities. There's not a lot of money there. The grant is very small. And she may not want to say it, but there is not going to be any hirings in 2021.
Right, I understand that.
Councilman, I do also want to point out, I know one of the challenges we've had is street sweeping since COVID. People are home during the day, so there's a lot more cars on the street when ordinarily street sweeping would be able to be done when people are at work. So we haven't been able to, even though, street sweepers are out there, they're not able to get as close to the curb in some neighborhoods. So I know that that's been a challenge. So, with the snow, it's probably a moot point at this point, but maybe,
yes,
as the weather turns, if people are still at home, we may need to, post streets to have people move cars to get a more thorough sweeping. So we'll keep an eye on that as the weather changes and we are able to get back to that.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
No problem. Thank you, Council President.
Call the question.
On the adoption of Resolution R-196-2020, Councilman Cotton.
Yes.
Councilman Elms.
Yes.
Councilman Foster.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Councilman Mayor.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Armington.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted.
There's no, that's concludes the regular business. There's one motion in unfinished business, the nomination of a council vote to Commissioner of the Housing Authority for an unexpired term ending 9/5/25.
Council President, if I may just say a few words before we move forward on this appointment.
Sure.
First of all, I'd like to just say that I would like to table this vote so that we can set up a committee or subcommittee as we've done so in the past when it has come to the appointment of the Housing Authority Commissioner. So we as council members can be on one accord going forward on the Housing Authority appointments. To me, there's been so much controversy. There's been a lot of community unrest to this point, and it has become to be very political in terms of this appointment, which I don't know that I can say I've experienced in the time that I've been appointed or elected as a council member. I'm hearing about backdoor meetings that have occurred, kangaroo meetings that may have occurred. I've received different answers on different issues. The answers seem to change, like the weather. these are council appointments. And I think we should have a little bit more control over our appointments. They're not the appointments of the Morristown Housing Authority Commissioner. They're not the appointments of the Morristown Housing Authority. As council members, we do get 5 appointments. And I think that we should, continue to, oversee our appointments. To date, I'm still unclear on who should be sitting on the board, who finished classes within the 18 months time frame required by the Department of Community Affairs. And so I still have unanswered questions. And so at this point, I'm not very comfortable in making any decisions and moving forward on this appointment tonight. Again, I'll state, in the time that I've been a councilwoman, assisting in making the decision of this appointment during this process, I've never seen so many issues. I've never seen so much unclarity. And, at this point, I can't, make a decision comfortably. If it's going to be the Morristown Housing Authority or commissioners who's going to dictate who we can appoint or cannot appoint, or who we should appoint or who we should not appoint on this board, then I think we as council members need to have a discussion on how we are going to make these appointments moving forward. So again, I'd like to, say that I'm in favor of tabling the appointment for tonight. And I don't know if any other council members have anything they'd like to say or add, but that's my position on this appointment tonight. Thank you.
Thank you,
Stefan, can I add on to that? I too feel that the vote has become controversial and political, and it's led to a lot more questions than answers. I feel the appointment should not be about race, but about residents, and all residents need to be represented, not just one group. And this is not a reflection of any of the applicants. Ms. Zabala was very well spoken. She's qualified. There's a lot of qualified people. That's not what I'm saying here. But I do also support postponing the vote and the appointment because there are some pending questions. It was brought to my attention that this appointment is thought of as a housekeeping duty for the council. I find that term derogatory and demeaning to this council. I personally take these appointments seriously. I read through them. I spoke to many of the applicants. I did not get a chance to speak to Ms. Zabala or Ms. Riley yet, but I too support it because I just feel like there was a little bit of disrespect that was happening, and I just feel like we might need a little bit more time to cover our bases on this one, and that's how I feel about it. Anybody else?
Thank you, Sandy. If I may, perhaps we could get some input from our town attorney as to once the council appoints housing authority commissioners, what jurisdiction, if any, does the council have in overseeing or managing or anything with regard to those commissioners during the course of their terms?
Well, I think before an appointment is made, a council does their due diligence. Once the appointment is made, they do not have any jurisdiction over how the housing authority operates. The only time it ever comes back to, as far as an appointment is concerned, as far as a commissioner is concerned, if there are complaints that the council wants to take up as far as removal or anything of that nature. I don't know if that answers your question. I'm not sure what, if that was the question, is there anything specific?
I think it does answer the question. I agree with both Councilwoman Mayer and Foster that this whole issue of that the housing authority has undergone over the last few months with regard to, I would say, catching up on overseeing the commissioners' training requirements and then providing letters to the commissioners at some point months after they would have otherwise been removed because they didn't complete the training. I have 2 separate letters from the housing authority attorney, on the one hand saying that the a commissioner was in good standing, and another one saying her term was expired in July. And I believe that the Housing Authority is catching up on that. They're behind the 8 ball, but they're catching up. My concern with delaying the vote at this point is, the council has the opportunity to speak to the 4 applicants, Ms. Apondo, Ms. Zavala, Mr. Harris McCoy, and Ms. Riley, who have all provided their applications and their resumes. And the question of we didn't have enough time to review them with sufficiency is I don't think sufficient, especially given the fact now that the Housing Authority is 2 members short because of the training requirements. So I would encourage the council to move ahead with this appointment. I am in favor of Ms. Zavala. I did look into whether or not her residency in Homeless Solutions Housing qualifies as a resident commissioner, but that does not. It's a separate program. So we will have to find a notice for a resident advisor commissioner over the coming month and move forward. That's where I stand. I'm curious about other people's opinions.
Well, just to
yes,
backtrack, I'm sorry,
like
one second, please, just to backtrack. I don't know where Ms. Opondo came into play, because the communication that I received, I think you said Ms. Opondo, so I believe you're referring to Caroline Opondo. Initially, we were told that she was a holdover. And then we get a letter saying that she was being removed, or she was removed because she didn't satisfy the classes. So that's still a little questionable to me. That's my first point. Second point, myself personally as a councilwoman, I'm not questioning the administrative role of the Housing Authority or commissioners, but if they are our appointments and there's a question concerning whether they completed the classes within the course requirement, I don't understand how we would have the authority to make appointments if we can't confirm if those classes have been completed during the required time frame. So that was my issue, and I got mixed messages or mixed responses from different ends of the spectrum. So if one answer is the consistent or the legitimate answer, I just want to know that that's the answer. So to say that, we're questioning things that we shouldn't be questioning, these are our appointments. So back to my point, if that's how it's set up, then to me, the Housing Authority should be making their own appointments. I mean, what are we making appointments for? We don't even have a right to know if these commissioners have completed their course requirements. That's all I'm saying. And when I get mixed messages from an executive director and I come back to our side and I ask questions and the two don't match, to me, I'm not comfortable making that type of appointment on tonight, irregardless. And if everything is legitimate and the board is accurate, then they should have a board and they should have a quorum. So there's no need to rush to fill the appointment if they are currently sitting with a board that meets the quorum requirement.
Thank you, Toshiba. Any other input from other council members?
Yes, I don't understand, and I didn't hear of any of the claims of Councilwoman Mayor and Councilwoman Foster about playing politics with this. I had enough time to review all the applications, and tonight I think that we have a great opportunity, and I want to nominate Noemi Zavala. She has a great resume, amazing story, and she's a true servant in the community. Thank you.
And Council Silva, I'm so sorry to beg to differ, but when I spoke with you about the applicants, I did tell you, based on your reasoning for not only aside from her credentials, one of your reasons was that because the Housing Authority had 42%, I can't state the facts. but you said that because of the population, I don't know if it was Manningham Village or if it was the entire population, including the seniors and the Section 8 vouchers, but you felt the need to have Hispanic representation. And in my opinion, I think that the person that's going on the board should represent all seniors, all Hispanics, all African Americans, and all ethnicities on the housing authority or on these choice programs. So let's not say that I didn't have a conversation with you. I did. And I think when we had the conversation, I did speak to you and I said, we should be putting somebody on the board that's going to represent all ethnic backgrounds, not just
are you implying that Ms. Zavala is not representing all? I think she's representing all in the same way that I'm representing all at
right, but I'm implying what you told me, and that's what you said to me. And when you said that to me, I came back and said, I think whoever applies or goes on the board should represent everybody. It should not be about race or ethnic background, is what I said.
Well, seems like that's an accusation.
No, it's our conversation. But anyway, back to my point, Council President. I didn't go as far as making a motion to table, but my initial introduction was that I would like to table the vote. So do I have a second to table?
I second it.
Well, before
we can move. We can go ahead, Vij.
No, I said that before there's a motion. I believe there's at least one other council person that was wishing to speak.
Yes, Bob, go ahead.
That's me, I think. Thanks, Vij. Bob here. First off, a couple comments. One, we don't have to be one accord. We have to have an open dialogue, and what we just did. It's good. It's healthy. Okay. But having one accord is not what a council's about. Council's about is bringing representation, bringing debate, having that discussion amongst ourselves. Second thing is it's our obligation to interview the candidates and to know who the candidates are and get to know them, not for the politics around them that might or might not be there, but just based on the individuals and the qualifications to sit on the Housing Authority and to be able to contribute to the Housing Authority, both from their professional and personal lives. Third thing I want to say is that it really is the obligation of the applicant to be, and this goes for our appointments, we should know who we are voting for. Okay, we should know who we're voting for. We should know who we're consenting and approving. Okay, and that being said, it's the job of the applicant to reach out to council people, and we should publicize that. To reach out to council people, we make our numbers available. Margot has given our numbers out to people to call us, to have some phone conversations. In this instance, I talked with two of the candidates extensively. But I'm also going to make one last point. Even when there's a reappointment, it's still our jobs to interview those people who are applying for reappointment. Did they put in the necessary time? Were they contributory? Was there any reason why they had a lack of participation? In this instance, I will tell you that two of the candidates did reach out to me. I had extensive conversations with them. There was no politics involved with the conversation whatsoever. I had very nice conversations with both of them. They were lovely. They had a lot of great thoughts. And if this goes to a vote tonight, I'm ready to vote.
And thank you for that comment, Bob. Just to retract when I say one accord, I mean, in terms of, what the requirements are, what it is that we're looking for, and what it is that we're looking to hear from the candidates. I wasn't speaking that we have to be on one accord, that we have to vote for the same thing, because, I mean, this is a democracy. We are all elected officials, and we are here to serve. So in no way, shape, form, or fashion was I saying we have to be on one accord to agree. I was just saying that because there has been so much controversy around this appointment that, we need to have understanding. I'm hearing that commissioners are reaching out to council members. I'm hearing all kinds of things. That should not happen, not with this board. And so if that is what's supposed to happen, then I need to know so that I'm aware, so that I know how we're going to make these appointments going forward. In retrospect, in the past, we have had committees that have reviewed resumes, that have taken the time to weed out people we thought were qualified, people we thought were not qualified, We kind of got our pool of candidates together. We took the time, we interviewed, although it's COVID, you know, we still have ways that we can speak, and that has not happened. And for me, it's been very political with this appointment. So I will put that on the record. I don't know what you all think. If you want to vote, vote. But at this time, I am not comfortable in making any type of appointments. And I think even after tonight going forward, we need to have some kind of dialogue, whether we form a subcommittee, whether we form any type of committee to discuss and address these applications for any future appointments going forward. I like the process that was in place before. There was a subcommittee. All the applications went to the subcommittee. They weeded out the applications. They brought back to the council the ones they felt were most qualified. We took the time, we spoke, we interviewed, and we made our decision based on that. It was based on the residents. It was based on the people. It was not based on politics.
I'd like to say something. I think the biggest concern was whether or not you get information about who can be a carryover and when they can't be, or how many people really finished all of their trainings on time, and should they have gotten letters as well. So we have the right to ask the questions and get consistent answers. I think that's what it's mainly about. I don't know if it's highly political. However, there just seems to be some inconsistency on who can be a carryover, and then when their term is considered that it wasn't legitimate and they're now removed. And was that consistent going with everyone else? Are all the commissioners held to the same standard? Or so I think that's a bigger question at hand here as well.
Thank you, Tawana. That's exactly what we were talking about earlier. That's the political side of it, is that we don't know that, because when I asked a question, I got one answer one day, and 2 weeks later, I got a completely conflicting answer. And unfortunately, not every council person was included in the questions and the answers. So some of us have different information than others of us. So it wasn't meant political as an attack on anybody. This is not personal about any council person or any applicant. There's very fine applicants here. It's just that when I get answers, 1 week is one thing, and another week it's another answer from the same person who is supposed to have the answers, and yet we still are not clear on it. I don't see the problem of putting this appointment off. They have a quorum for their December meeting, and we can have this settled as long as somebody gives us some consistent answers before January. It's not that tragic. I've been told that this commission has sat with less than 7 people in the past. So if they sit with 5, and there are 5 that are qualified, which we don't even know is the case right now, because we've gotten conflicting answers on the qualifications of finishing their classes, then they can have a meeting. But we don't know that, because we don't even know what happened in October, because the minutes aren't posted. People attended the October meeting potentially that were not commissioners and voted, because it happened in September. This is what we're saying. This is why we want to put it off, so we could just get some answers. It's not an attack on anybody. It's not an attack on council. It's not an attack on the applicants. They're all very well qualified and versed. We just want the clarification before we put another person on, so we know what we're voting for.
So I believe there's a motion by Councilwoman Foster, seconded by Councilwoman Mayer, to table the vote. Councilwoman Foster, do you want to move forward with that vote?
I'd like to move forward with my vote.
Okay, call the question, Margot.
On the motion to table the Housing Authority appointment to a future meeting, Councilwoman Cotton.
Yes.
Councilman Elms.
You're muted, Mr. Elms.
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilman Iannaccone.
Yes.
Councilman Mayer.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
No.
Council President Armington.
Yes.
Motion
All right, we will table this into the next meeting, and hopefully council members will have a better opportunity to interview and do their due diligence to review the 3 to 4 applicants. And I encourage each of you, if you have questions about the Housing Authority operations, to reach out directly to the Housing Authority Director.
Stefan,
Thank you.
quick. I've got my hand up. Stefan, do me a favor. With reference to the issues that Sandy was raising, which and Tawana was raising, with reference to maybe the inappropriateness of the of people being requested to leave the board because of failure to comply with the educational requirement. Who's best to give us the objective opinion on this?
That was my next question, Councilman.
I have two alternative interpretation letters from the Housing Authority Attorney Dakotas that say entirely the opposite thing. So, unbiased, I would say it'd be the attorney, but I don't know. Maybe Mr. Pawar can elaborate.
But Dakotas, you're saying Dakotas is the Housing Authority Attorney, correct? You're saying?
That is my understanding.
If they're the Housing Authority, can we just ask them for clarification? If they're the Housing Authority Attorney, they know the Housing Authority regulations. Let's ask them to, or let's ask the Housing Authority if they'd be willing to share his opinion with us.
Councilman, I can certainly reach out to the Dakotas firm and obtain the answers. I have spoken to them. I've spoken to Keith Kennard. Perhaps Mr. Kennard can come and provide you with the information. If you have anything specific, you can certainly reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to have a discussion with you on some of these issues that have been going back and forth. I've had a number of conversations with the executive director on some of these issues, so I'll be more than happy to talk to you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Vijay. I think the issue would be resolved if the maybe subsequent correspondence from Dakotas essentially acknowledged the changes in position and what transpired during that, and so then that should tie a knot on everything. So.
Yeah, and I just like to add that, I hope so, because, it really is disheartening to get, conflicting information. I know I've received correspondence from Keith Kennard, the executive director, that, I still had questions. I don't know if he was just responding as the executive director or he was responding, per legal counsel. It sounds like from what Councilwoman Mayer is saying, she's gotten conflicting responses from Kennard that was forwarded, I guess, maybe through Dakotas. So at this point, I'm not really confident in who is relying the accurate information. So, I just want, and I'm not saying anything is right or wrong or indifferent. I just want to know that all the questions that are being asked, we are receiving the accurate information per the Department of Community Affairs, not just somebody, just giving us what their perspective is, whether it's the attorney, whether it's the executive director. I really want the legislative law from the Department of Community Affairs. That's what I'm asking.
President,
Tawana, hold on a second. Let's let Mr. Pawar respond.
Sure. If I may suggest, I'm not completely familiar, and I'm not trying to insert myself in the middle of this. I'm not familiar with the conflicting advice that was provided by Dakotas, but what I can certainly ask or tell you is any information, any questions that council members have, they either run it through you or run it through me, and I can vet the information that is being provided by the Housing Authority Council and give you the correct answer.
I'd appreciate that.
And I think that would be the best way of, attorney to attorney. I think it's the best approach. And then we hold you in the high regards. You can explain and interpret the Housing Authority attorney's recommendations to us.
I was going to also ask Vij if there was a HUD representative from Morristown that could shed clarity on that as well, if need be.
I don't know the answer to that. I can certainly ask Mr. Kennard if there is a HUD representative. But again, it depends on the question. So if there are specific questions that each council member has, I can run down the answers to each one of those questions, whether it's through HUD or whether it's through the Housing Authority, whether it's through Mr. Kennard or whether it's through Dakotas. So I'll certainly vet the information that comes in before it goes to the council.
Vij, I have a quick question.
Sure.
When I cleared my questions through Stefan when I had sent them out to Mr. Kennard and I received an answer. Am I allowed to share that with the rest of the council so they know what I'm reading and we can all be on the same page in the future? Because I got a lot of different responses that came. Stefan was included in most of them. I think you were included, but not the rest of the council.
The best thing to do is forward all your information to correspondence to Margot, and then she can compile it and send it out to the full council.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, one more comment, Stefan. At the very least, we should apologize to the candidates. You know,
Yes.
they put themselves in this position, they make phone calls, they come and they appear before us. We don't want to discourage people from stepping up and getting involved in public service in our town. So I personally, and I think others join, I apologize to the candidates. We should have had this issue sorted out before actually the nominations were closed. So, or even taken for that matter. But I don't know. I think everybody agrees with me on this.
Yes.
Right.
No,
Well,
I mean-
unfortunately, we were getting answers up until yesterday, so it was a little bit hard to.
Don't miss my point.
All right. So I think we've beat this horse enough. Let's.
We have, but wait, council president, if I may, just quickly, I think for me, the biggest thing for me, and I mean, if I need to follow it up with an email to, I don't know, should it go to the clerk and then the clerk sent it to you, Beans, as our legal. My biggest issue is, or concern, I won't say it's an issue because it really isn't. I just want to know the course requirements. You know, are the course requirements different for
council members? I'm gonna put a stop to this. If you have individual questions, please forward them to Mr. Pawar. He will coordinate directly with the Housing Authority and get responses all back to us. I think we could.
All right, that's fair, Council President.
Thank you. So we will conclude that the old business. There is no new business. Before adjournment, I want to wish everyone a happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and
Don't forget Kwanzaa.
Exactly. And I, really am overwhelmed by all the work that council and administration, the mayor and Vij and Jillian have done throughout the last year to get us through this pandemic and troubling times. And I wish, a healthy holiday for everyone, and looking forward to a new year. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Stefan.
And
Thanks,
with that,
Stefan.
make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting
Thank you.
adjourned.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Margo, the meeting's the 5th, right?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
7 o'clock.
Okay, thanks.
Margo, what's that again?